everyone. So in this video we're gonna deal about a very important question, right? So the question would be how to start competitive programming or competitive coding, whatever you wish to call it, right? So in this video basically I'll cover 5 questions and I think all your doubts would be covered in these 5 questions, right? So the questions would be: what is competitive coding, why is it important, how to start, how to practice, and last but not the least, when to start, right? So let's start without wasting any time. So the first question is, what is competitive coding? Okay, so before knowing what is competitive coding, we must know what exactly is coding, right? So coding is basically instructing your machine to perform certain tasks with the help of certain statements, right? So that is what coding is. For example, when you write a program to print a pattern, you in a way you instruct your machine to do the task through statements. Basically, you use the languages Java, C++, whatever you use. Through that language, you instruct your PC, right? So, what is competitive coding now? Okay, so the word competitive. So when the word competitive is added before coding, then you're bound to certain restrictions, right? For example, when you see the questions of competitive coding, you will find that all the questions have certain restrictions, like the compilation time should be 1 second maybe, and the total size occupied by the file should be around 1 MB, right? So when the word competitive is added before coding, you are bound to certain restrictions, such as restriction of time, restriction of space, etc. And because you're competing with the people around you, right? So you have to be the best among them, right? So that's what competitive coding is exactly. So I hope I'm clear. So moving on to the next question, why is competitive coding important? Okay, so this is a very valid question, right? Because why should you start doing it if you don't know the use, right? So when you go to the interviews of these companies, right, be it Google, Microsoft, or Amazon, or any other company, right, Adobe maybe, okay, so when you go for the interview basically lasts for around 2 to 3 hours, right? And during the interview rounds, there is one round for competitive coding also. The reason for keeping competitive coding as one of the rounds is because the duration of the interview is very short, right? So in that short duration, the interviewers can't exactly judge your problems, exactly what you are, what your skills are, how can you manage things, right? It's not possible. It's practically not possible for anybody to judge these skills within such short duration of time, right? So what they assume that if you have the thinking capability, like if you can manage the problems of competitive coding, and if you can manage the restrictions which are imposed on these questions, right? So if you are able to manage such problems, then we can be of some advantage to them, right? So based on this assumption, they segregate some of the candidates, right? If a candidate is not able to solve the problems based on the restrictions, so they assume that if they are unable to solve a simple question like this, then how can they manage such huge responsibilities in the companies, right? So it is a way of segregating candidates during the interviews, right? That's why competitive coding is important, and it's not exactly for placement point of view, right? I'll tell you, competitive coding, if you see the questions, they are kind of like puzzles, right? Like, it's a kind of sport for your brain, so it's helpful it will make you sharp anyways. So I hope I'm clear why is it important, right? So moving on to the next question, how to start competitive coding, right? So it is also an important question. So I'll say that we will go step by step. Basically, there are 4 steps, and if you have command on these steps, maybe you can do well in this. Okay. So the first step would be selecting a popular language, be it Java, C++, and there are other languages as well, like C, Python, etc. But I'll say recommend you to go by Java or C++, right? And I'll make a video on choosing a language, because it's also an important thing, right? Okay, so the first point is selecting a popular language. Okay, now the second point is mastering the language, right? So brackets are if you do not have any idea about programming languages, right? So what do I mean by these brackets? What do I basically mean is that suppose you are not exposed to programming, maybe in your school or anywhere else, right? So if you have not been exposed to programming earlier, then it is a must for you to master the language, right? But if you have any idea of programming, like suppose in the school you have learned Java, okay, and maybe you came to the college and you came to know that C++ is better than Java for competitive coding, right? So if you want to switch into C++, then you don't need to master the language, like you no need to know C++ from basics to advanced, right? You can straight away start solving the questions by knowing the basic syntax, and as you proceed you will gradually learn the language, right? I hope I'm clear. So the basic summary was, if you have not been exposed to language earlier, then you have to master the language whatever you have chosen in step 1, and if you have been exposed to programming earlier, then straight away choose the language whichever you want and then start the questions, right? And you will gradually learn, okay? So the step 3 would be learn the data structures and algorithms, right? For example, stack, queue, etc. These are the data structures, and algorithms would be searching algorithm, greedy algorithm, etc. So why are they important? Okay, so take an example that you are writing a program, okay, and it is a 100-line code, okay. So if you solved that question using a certain data structure, maybe that question would have been solved in 50 lines, okay. So basically this is the straightforward use of data structure. It keeps the thing simple, right? So this is the basic advantage, like kind of it helps you shorten your code, okay. You can understand in this way, right? And algorithms basically, suppose I'll give you an example of searching algorithm. Suppose you got a question and the question asks for searching an element in an array, and then you have to perform certain operations after that, okay. So now if you start solving the question, and if you waste time thinking about how to search an element in an array, then it's not advisable, because there is a ready-made algorithm for searching an element, okay, that, and the interviewers assume that you know that algorithm. So you should not waste time on thinking on how to search an element. Rather, your focus should be on the second part, which is what to do after that, okay. I hope I have got the intuition what I mean by data structure and algorithm, okay. So the fourth point is practicing. The more you practice, the better it would be, right? So why in fact the practicing is the most important of all, because for these 3 steps, the first 3 steps, you have a definite time period, right? Like you can select a language and master it in maybe 1 month, and you can master the data structure and algorithm in around 2 months, okay. But there is no time frame in which you can say that, practicing, like you cannot say that if I practice for a certain amount of time, I'll become a expert in competitive programming, okay. So that's why practicing is very important, and the more you practice, the better it would be. So now the question comes, from where to practice. So this is our fourth question, from where to practice, right? So for practicing, there are various online platforms available. For example, CodeChef, HackerRank, HackerEarth, Geeks for Geeks, SPOJ, etc. SPOJ stands for Spear Online Judges. So these are some of the platforms. There are other platforms as well, like Codeforces. However, the questions on Codeforces are a bit difficult. So being a beginner, you can start with these, okay. So if I say what I've given you a list of 5, so how will you choose? Because you might have heard the code, right? It's better to keep 1 book and master it, rather than keeping 10 books and studying something from all of them, okay. So I'll suggest that you can choose SPOJ for practicing, okay. The interface is good, the questions are good. So for practicing, you can choose SPOJ. And while practicing, there is one more thing that is important, okay. So along with practicing, you have to build your profile, right? Profile, what do I mean by profile is, during your interviews, the interviewers also see your profile. Profile, basically, when you solve the contests on any of the platforms, you get ratings and stars, okay, based on your performance, and that builds up your profile, and it kinds of adds to your resume, okay. So it is very important to have a profile, because it helps in your placements and internships, right? So what I'll suggest, that for building a profile, you can maybe go by CodeChef, okay. It's also a good platform. The questions, as usual, they are good. The interface is very good, okay. So out of all these, my favorite is of the interface of CodeChef, okay. After that, SPOJ, okay. So I'm not saying that the rest of the things others are bad, but it's my personal recommendation. If you want, you can try, and then you can choose whatever you wish to. So CodeChef, I guess, has 3 contests every month: the long challenge, the cook-off, and the lunchtime. Okay, so these can be used to build up your profile, and for practicing you can use the SPOJ platform. Okay, so I hope I'm clear for the question 4. So the last question is when to start. Okay, so the basic simple answer for this question is it's your choice. Okay, the sooner you start, the better it would be for you. Okay, however, I'll give a separate means I will pay more attention to the school students. Suppose you are a school student, and if you can manage time, you can also start it. Okay, because if you start it now, once you reach into your college, you will have an upper hand, because you will be knowing a bit more than the people around you. Okay, and that's important because it will give you a kind of confidence, and that confidence basically boosts you, and you learn new things and you grow eventually. Okay, so I suggest that if you are a school student, then, and if you can manage time, then you can start competitive coding, because as long, because 90% of the schools now have the coding as their syllabus. Okay, but that's not competitive coding. Okay, basically, as I said earlier, the basic difference between coding and competitive coding is because just that the questions are a bit tougher due to certain restrictions, right? Restriction of time, space, etc. So if you are doing coding, you can switch to competitive coding. Okay, because it won't take much time to switch. Okay, and if you switch it, as I told you, it would be better for you once you in your future, to be precise. Okay, so I hope I am clear for these 5 questions, and I guess all your doubts would have been cleared. Okay, so we will be making another video as a continuation to this. In that video, basically we will be explaining the basic interface, the questions, how the competitive coding questions are, basically, because there are certain test cases, queries, etc., etc., in a question. So once, if you, being a beginner, if you see the question, you won't exactly get what you exactly have to do. Okay, so in the next video, maybe I'll explain how the questions are, what exactly you have to do in that question. Okay, and I'll explain you the interface maybe of CodeChef. Okay, so that's all for this video, and okay, that's all folks, and happy coding. Thank you.